Last night you watched me run in Elmore City. On my previous YouTube video, that was Trisha and Train's very first run in the arena. I'm going to review my run for you right now, and then I'm going to show you what I work on in the practice pen and prepare for our second run in this arena. We had an outstanding first barrel. This is the first night, so just really came around it good, and then right here is where I see the problem. We're leaving and his head is tipped to the right, and he's just resisting me all the way across the pen. So what I want him to do is to just flatten out and run in a straight line from first to second. But I'm having a problem getting his shoulder up and over to get around it. And as soon as I go to one hand, you'll see me go to one hand fairly early, so boom, right here. That's way too early for him in this pen, that barrel being up against the fence like that, and just how strong that I know he is. So I trust him right there, and we just fall a little bit short, and we hit this barrel on the side, like on the back side towards the fence. And I'll let you watch that full speed one more time. But I was really, really happy with my angle and approach to the first, and he really just was so responsible right there to the first. So boom, I got one hand, and he gets around it so great, and then we just slow down and struggle. There's not enough momentum to carry us around that turn. But all in all, it was a pretty good run. He clocked outstanding. We would have won it. But the thing that I'm going to work on today in the practice pen is from first to second, really straightening that line out and trying to hold him more accountable for the second barrel.
Do you love me? Do you need me?
I just woke up. So last night I competed in Elmore City. I get to run there again tonight. However, there's a few adjustments I want to make. I was up in the Slack. A lot of good things about my run, a couple things I want to fix. I'm going to head to the practice pen today and do some work on Tezzy and then prepare for this evening. Yes, I'm going to let you go to the practice pen with me and see what we work on, and then see how that works out for tonight and see if I can actually accomplish the things that I'm focused on. So let's head outside, and then, you know, when I get back in, I'll take care of this. But it is blazing hot already. It's only about 8:30, but it's already hot. It's going to be a hot one today. So I want to get going and get ridden before it gets too hot for Taz, and let him just relax the rest of the day, because the rodeo is just a couple minutes up the road. It's only like 4 miles, so let's go. Okay, so my strategy this morning is to work on our line from first to second because of our run last night. And to me, that fix is coming out of the first, going towards the second, rather than just holding him right there at second for the last stride, which would get us around it, but I don't feel like it fixes the actual problem. So what I've done is just set the barrels up. However, here I am around first. Second is super far to the right, so we've got to overturn the first barrel to even get to it. Get out of the way, Snoop. Come on. Just trying to work the ground. And what I'm going to do is just run over here to second, run by the barrel, and make him run to the fence so that he's listening to me and he's turning when I ask him to. If I go to the horn at all early, he's dropping. So we'll see how this does, but this little pattern, it's more of a skewed triangle. I did this last year in Salinas when the barrels were so close together so that we could really overfinish the first. And if he's overfinishing like that, he'll be on a little better line to get to the second barrel.
What you got down there? What's that? Get in there. Get in there. Get in there.
So right here what I'm doing is just easing him around first, and then I'm going to ask him to lope to second. And I'm going to hold him straight to the fence. You see him duck in there really hard, and I say, nope. No, sir, wait for me to ask you to turn. And then we'll go over it again. And I'm just wanting him to wait for me to ask to turn rather than doing it on his own. And he's doing that early in a run anyway, so we'll just ease back around first if we can. And then ease over there. And I just want him to hold straight, and he did a lot better at it that time. We weren't going as fast, but he is definitely hot. He's a finished barrel horse, so I don't want to rile him up too much. And then this time, if he feels good and he's not diving on his own or diving too early, I'm going to let him turn. But if he does try to duck in early on me, I'm going to hold him straight to the fence again. So we'll pick up the pace just a little bit here for our third time around. And he felt great, so I finished that, and then I'm just going to ease him down, get him going a little bit slower, and just finish the pattern right there. And that is that. So in my run, what I'm going to change is to really use my left hand and pick up his inside shoulder. It's more me than him that's making this mistake, so I don't want to over practice him. I just wanted to do that a couple times just to show him, hey, wait for me. And at the end of every ride, I get off in the middle of the pattern somewhere, and you see here I'm really just asking for his inside shoulder, and that was perfect. So that's where I'm going to end our practice today. And I always get off like that in the center of the pen so they don't get sour or want to go back to the gate early or anything like that. And we'll see how it goes tonight. Hopefully our line is a lot better. That's the number one thing I'm going to work on. So in between first and second is my main focus. You know what I'm saying? It's rodeo time, old son. Round 2, Elmore City. Let's get it. Got about 37 different varieties of tack. I'm gonna take some of this in so it's not so cluttered. Okay. You gonna put those in there? Yeah. I need that. Take these down to the barn. You put that in there? Yeah. I got it. So Taz and I really are just getting back into rodeoing. We took a big break for my fitness competition. This is actually our second rodeo of the summer season. We went out to Florida in January, February, and did a couple pro rodeos, but we are preparing for the summer run. So I'm going to take off after the 4th, after I do the Wrangler National Patriot Tour out in California, and we are going to hit some rodeos in Utah. So I'm really trying to use these runs as a preparatory measure to get ready for those big rodeos and not make any mistakes once we get there. Typically, I've found that if things are going sideways, it's a jockeying problem, not necessarily a horse problem. So it will take just a minute for me to get back into things and feel sharp and feel 100% ready.
What kind of tunes do you listen to on the way to the barrel race?
Who is Drake? Chance the Rapper? Beyonce? I'm really serious XM because just the previous station falling on a budget. You know what I like to listen to? Silence. Along with your thoughts, huh? Both of them. Yeah, you're right. Where is she? Where did she go? Where is she? Where is she? Not safe. Recommend that. You're 6th, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go video you. Okay, thanks, dude.
Back to the line, back to the line. She makes her way in with a vengeance. Look at this. Come on, Jenna, come on. Oh, that's going to leave a mark. Swings the tight turn around number 3. Now trying to make up some of the time. Back to the clutch. And we check. It would have been 16 and 9/6. Tackle by 21 and 9.
So dang it, I did not keep the second barrel up, but I did think that coming right out of the first, I did a better job getting centered and getting him up. We just didn't continue that quite far enough. So after this run, I actually sent it to one of my mentors, one of my coaches, Kimmy Wall, because she's an outstanding horseman, and we kind of had this problem last summer a little bit. So she's going to work on some things with me and help get us on track. But sometimes too, when a problem like this happens, the more you focus on it, now it's like a thing. So I don't want to spend too much time, because we normally don't hit barrels. We have a little bit of that problem where he wants to be strong going into second, but I'm not going to overthink it. He actually was faster tonight, so I know our line was a little bit better. So I'm going to consider that a win and keep my head up and just try to get myself together and be a strong competitor for tomorrow, because we're going to run again tomorrow, and I don't want to let my last run affect my next run, which is pretty tough to do. And that's part of being on the road, is you'll get in these really high, doing well swings, and then you'll start to dip down. And if you get hard on yourself and start to think, you have all these problems, you can carry that momentum the opposite way too. So I'm just gonna, chalk it up as a win for the things I liked about this run, lean on my mentors, and head to the next one. And I do want to say too, like, it's pretty, difficult to share all the sides of barrel racing with you guys like this, because normally, like, people only put runs on social media where they do well, and you usually never see the runs where you do less than well. I don't know a ton of people that post runs where they hit barrels, definitely not like twice in a row. So I think it kind of skews our reality of what actually happens on the rodeo road, and I want to be like really transparent and give the most to you guys, because you've been such an incredible part of my journey so far. I feel like I owe you that, and I want you to see what actually goes on and some of the struggles that I go through. And I 100% do not claim to know everything, but I can certainly share my journey and my story. And if I can help you guys along the way through seeing some of the trials and tribulations that I'm going through, like, that's what I want to do for you. And I've been so fortunate to have amazing friends, coaches, mentors, and people in my life who have gotten me to where I am today. And I just want to do that for you guys. So I know I'm posting runs where I hit barrels, and I'm kind of picking myself apart on these YouTube run reviews, but I think it's awesome. And we do this anyways amongst ourselves as barrel racers. So, here it is. Here are my strings. This is what happens when you hit twice in a row. So keep your head up and head to the next one. Let's watch Trisha's run really quick. She's up in the slack, so she's got a little bit of time to go. But last night she did outstanding on train for their first showing. Couple things to fix. There's a lot of lights, a lot of distractions, a lot of things going on. So I'm looking for her to just make improvements. And I know she can do better than she did last night. She's an outstanding horseman. She's just got to get used to the competition atmosphere, and so does this one. A little train track, so it'll come together for him. I totally remember being there, and like I said, it popped up on my timeline, my run here last year at this time and the year before. So I've been coming to this rodeo for a couple years now. But it's fun to come back and clock faster than we've ever clocked, even with a down barrel. So I know we're getting better. And one thing that Kimmy said that really left an impression on me is that, problems we can fix. So we can get his shouldering problem to the second fixed. What you don't want to see is a pretty pattern, not many mistakes that just isn't clocking. So the number one thing for me to be happy about and proud of is that my horse is working good. He's fast, he's trying. And there's still room for improvement, so we're gonna look to fix those mistakes. Here's Trisha's run. Go on, Trisha. Yeah.
Do you love me?